very important elements in our life. Let's look at other aspects of our deen that we face in our day-to-day life. Take an example of Hajj. Can an individual perform Hajj any time of the year? You can't. The days of Hajj and those rituals when an individual performs Hajj, they are prescribed and fixed in a time. You have days, and within those days, those activities which have been fixed have their own time to do so. You want to do Rami of Jamarat? You can't just do it the way you want. It has to be in sequence. It has to be done according to the prescribed time that Allah and His Rasul has taught us. We understand from the Hajj as well how important the time that Allah has granted you and I is. Let's look at Sawm, fasting. When fasting is compulsory? In the month of Ramadan. The obligatory fast we do and we observe are in the month of Ramadan. A person wants to keep the fast of Ramadan in any other month, it is not going to be ada, it will be qada. You cannot perform your fast before the month of Ramadan comes. You have to wait till the month of Ramadan comes. So it is within the time. Now within the month of Ramadan, how long do you have to fast? The time is fixed. من الخيط الأبيض إلى الخيط الأسود. From the dawn until sunset. Allah Azza wa Jal is telling you and I in every single aspect of our life and obligatory ibadat, the timekeeping and the time that Allah has granted you is an important element in your life. The person who does not understand this will be the biggest fool, and that individual, no matter what he thinks about himself, he does not have aql that Allah has mentioned in the Holy Quran. أَفَلَا تَتَدَبَّرُونَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Why don't you think about it? Why don't you ponder upon? And you'll find many examples. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, and I'm repeating this hadith part. Rasul Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam stated in one of the hadith that Amr ibn Maymun radiyallahu ta'ala anhu is the narrator of this hadith, and he says, Rasul Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam stated, إِغْتَنِمْ خَمْسًا قَبْلَ خَمْسٍ. Look after 5 things before 5. In other words, Prophet ﷺ stated, be careful about 5 things before 5. Prophet ﷺ stated, شَبَابَكَ قَبْلَ هَرَمِكَ. Your youth. And Allah has given you the ability to move around without anyone's help. You should remember there was a time when you needed to walk, you had to hold the hand of your parents. But then Allah gave you the ability, you started walking. Then the time will come when you will need people to help you and support you. When you will need people to push your chair. Before that time comes, whilst you have this shabab, this youth, you must look after it. Take the advantage in a good way of your youth. Then Prophet ﷺ stated, وَصِحَّتَكَ قَبْلَ سَقَمِكَ. The good health that Allah has given you, look after it. Take benefit from that good health before you become ill. Suqam, illness comes to you. وَغِنَاكَ قَبْلَ فَقْرِكَ. If Allah has made you independent financially, then look after it before the faqr and poverty strikes you. وَفَرَاغِكَ قَبْلَ شُغْلِكَ. And whilst you have free time, look after that free time before you become busy. Now imagine the hadith part. The words of Rasul Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam are very wise. And some of the hadith of Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, we class them as Jawami'ul Kalim. What is Jawami'ul Kalim? Simple words of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but the guidance encompasses and it lasts until the day of judgment. For example, the one phrase that Prophet ﷺ has stated here, your shabab before your old age, your youth before your old age, as well as your free time before you become busy. Now imagine our life today. If I ask most of the people, do you have time? People will say, no, I'm busy. Taking from the young person to the old person. Now you could be busy with several things, whether they are useless, useful, benefiting you or not benefiting you, it doesn't matter. But we all are busy with something. We all are busy with our daily routine, whether that routine is useful, helping you, or it doesn't help you. Let's understand today, when and how should you realize the activities I'm indulging myself in, including the use of technology and use of social media, whether this is benefiting me or not. What is the scale? How would you measure whether you are benefiting from this or not? There is a simple criteria I'd like to mention today. Anything you do, online or offline, anything you give your time to, whether it's online or offline, you have to have these three things in your mind. The first thing you need to have is this beneficial for me mentally? Is this benefiting me in any way mentally? Is this benefiting me in any way physically? Or is this benefiting me in any way spiritually? Just take these three criteria and measure any activity you do. Look at any involvement on social media or with the gadgets in today's day and age you do, and think about it. Any of these activities, do they befit in this criteria or not? If it doesn't, what does it mean? The meaning is that you are indulging in something which is useless. And who is a believer? Subhanallah, one of the hadith of Rasul Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, a great guideline for you and I, that Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stated that who is a believer, who is mu'min? In that hadith part, the Sahabi asked Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, Ya Rasulullah, who is the best believer? Who is the best mu'min? Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stated, Min husni islam al-mar'i tarku ma la ya'ni. The beauty of the deen of an individual, the beauty of strength in the religion of that individual is tarku ma la ya'ni. He leaves whatever does not concern him. For example, there was a time, suppose when our young people, they were a lot involved in what's happening with Andrew Tate. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you like him or not. It is not my, problem in terms of to give you this verdict, whether you like him or not. But one question to all of those individuals who were involved actively in his life, what he is doing, what he is saying, at the end, after following whatever he said, what did you achieve? Simple question. Did it make you better in terms of mentally? Did it benefit you in terms of your physical well-being? Did it benefit you in terms of your spiritual health? If it didn't, what did you do? You lost your time following somebody, in my opinion, who has no religious credibility. In today's day and age, this is our problem. That we try to learn our deen from people who are ex-cons, from those people who are they used to be in jail, from those people who were nothing in terms of deen, and suddenly they know how to speak. We do not even look at their credentials, that how are they spreading this deen on social media? What is their source of the knowledge? Have they sat in front of the credible ulama and learned the deen? We don't look at any of that. But because we have time and we want to use and utilize our time using social media, and we want to learn our deen from social media, this is what happens. So the use of social media, it does make individual kind of lazy too. And I've mentioned this before, that it is surprising that a child who cannot speak A child who hasn't learned to speak a word yet. We all experience that the child knows how to use the tablet. A child doesn't speak, suppose 2 years old, he knows how to flick to the video that he likes or she likes. What do we understand from this? That when our kids are young, what do we say when it comes to teaching them manners? We say he's too young to teach anything. When it comes to teach the deen or kalima, we say he's too young to go to madrasa. He's too young to learn this and learn that. But that very same child who is 2 years old has learned something without you teaching him or teaching her. Just by looking at what you do with the screen, the child learns it. Do you not think this is the influence of these gadgets and apps, suppose like YouTube? Child knows how to use the YouTube. He doesn't speak yet. Subhanallah. So we need to understand that how are we utilizing our time. Let's look at one of the aspects. That how did our predecessors, they actually utilize their time, and how were they able to write so much? Now I'll give you a couple of examples. One of the examples that Hadithuna Imam Abu Yusuf Ghaliban, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, a student of Imam Azam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah. We are talking about 80th Hijri, very close to the time of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. They were pure people. They were people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, one day he was in Qabristan. When he was in Qabristan, he saw someone, that individual knew a hadith which Imam Abu Yusuf did not have. The burial was taking place. Imam Abu Yusuf called him from behind. And whilst the burial was taking place, Imam Abu Yusuf asked him to narrate that hadith. Yes? Now, compare this to how much time we spend going through the reels of people. Compare this to the time we spend going through watching people who we have no concern about. People who are eating, people who are dancing, people who are doing all sorts of useless things. We spend our time watching them. What they are getting? They're getting money. What are you getting? Nothing. Subhanallah. Now Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi ta'ala, when he asked him to narrate this hadith, that individual narrated that hadith in the Qabristan while the burial was taking place. And then he asked him, what was so rushed? Why were you in hurry to learn this hadith whilst the burial was taking place? The answer was, I don't know. I would have no time. I have no time left after that burial, and I would die. I wanted to take that hadith before death comes to me. The concern they had, and looking after their time, the way they did, we need to learn something from their lives. Hazrat Junayd Baghdadi radiallahu ta'ala, a great saint, a well-known wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he was departing from this dunya, says we are talking about his final moments. When he was departing from the dunya, on his tongue he had astaghfar. He was praying astaghfirullah. Now those who were next to Hazrat Junayd Baghdadi radiallahu ta'ala, they asked him that this is the time that you are leaving the dunya, and on your tongue you have istighfar. Hazrat Junayd Baghdadi rahmatullahi ta'ala and Shaykh Abu Ghudda, he has written in his book this, and he says that Hazrat Junayd Baghdadi rahmatullahi ta'ala, he replied that my register is not closed yet. The angel is still writing. I would rather do istighfar and zikr of Allah before I die. Now, do you not think that when you are using social media irresponsibly, when you are using social media as la ya'ni, things which does not concern you, is your register and those angels who are writing kiraman katibin, are they not writing how you are utilizing your time, how you are using your time? They are writing it, and they know it, and it will be given to you on the day of Qiyamah. Now it is up to us how responsible we become about ourselves and what do we think about these great personalities. Just to give you an idea, that when these great predecessors, they looked after their time and they cared about their time, what were they able to achieve? What did they do? For example, Hazrat Imam Fakhruddin Razi, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, one of the great Imam, and his work in particular in terms of ilm al-aqaid and in terms of ilahiyat is amazing. He wrote one tafsir, only one of his work I'm telling you about. His tafsir al-Razi or tafsir al-Kabir. How many volumes do you think, and you can guess it may have? He has 70 volumes he wrote. How many paras in the Quran? 30. The tafsir of those 30 paras, Hazrat Imam Fakhruddin Razi, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he wrote in 70 volumes. How did they have this barakat in their time? And to our young people who just have gotten the results of GCSE A levels and BTEC, to those people who have achieved what they wanted, Mubarakbad and congratulations. Those who haven't, don't be disheartened. Allah is there. If you have put the effort, you can try again. Your efforts will not be void. It will be paid off by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you will attain success. But what could be the reason if you did not achieve what you wanted to? Look at your routine. What do you do every day? Not just before you have to sit for the exam. The whole year, what was your routine? And I remember when I was studying, I was 14, and I asked my teacher that I don't find barakat in my time. I have many subjects to learn. I have many subjects to memorize, everyday lesson and sabak. So I find that I don't get much time. So he gave me an idea. And this is for all those young people who are studying. He said, make a timetable. Okay? Make a timetable for every day during the week. And this includes the weekend. Weekend is not something that the whole day you can enjoy, play the games and whatever you want to do. Again, you'll be indulging yourself into la ya'ni, things which does not concern you. Yes? To make a timetable. That's what he told me. I acted upon it. Today is Monday. What would I would like to do on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I made the timetable. And that was so helpful that the blessing in time, the barakah in time came. And I felt that every subject I wanted to learn and memorize and present it in front of my teacher the next day, I was able to do so. The same advice I give to my students today. You need to have the timetable. If you do not have timetable, you will not know when you wake up what are you doing today. Yes? So having timetable is something which is very important. Now, just few things in terms of the use of social media in 2 minutes. The first thing, should you use social media or not? The answer from me would be, you don't need it. Why? Because if you are not on social media, or if you are not on Facebook, Instagram, all of these different platforms, you are not losing anything, you are not missing out on anything. Because people put their concerns on there, people put whatever they have in their mind on there, you utilize your time listening to them. What do you attain? Nothing. Most of the social media content you go through, they are useless. And as I said, check if it's beneficial for you in terms of your mental health, physical health or spiritual health. If it doesn't befit in there, it is nothing, it is not for you, nothing is helpful for you. But if you want to use it, be responsible. The first thing, think about your deen. Any post you make, is it helpful for you in terms of your religion, in terms of your register that Kiraman Katibin are writing? What do you post? As well as, if you receive something and you want to forward it, check it out. What is the strength of the post I've received? There are many of our older people who come across the aqwal of Sayyidina Ali. Hazrat Ali said this, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala said this. बहुत से ऐसे अक़वाल हैं जो हज़रत अली की तरफ मंसूब होते हैं, लेकिन सैयदना अली रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु ने वो कहा ही नहीं होता है। वो चल रहा है गूगल पे, गूगल से कॉपी किया और व्हाट्सएप पे डाल दिया। Likewise in Jummah Mubarak, many ahadith that people forward, or in messages that people forward, you need to know whether this hadith has any base or not. Because if you won't, there's a warning of Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ stated that anyone who accused me of lying, anyone who associated any lie to me, means something that I did not say, and that individual says this is the hadith of Prophet ﷺ. Prophet says, فَلْيَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ. Then he should make his way to Jahannam. Subhanallah. Whatever you post, do you check? If it's hadith, do you actually check? No, you don't. So we need to be careful in terms of what we post. In particular, and this is the final thing I'd like to say, that social media makes it very easy to have connection and connect with the opposite gender. In that case, many times, the influence of shaitan as well as our desire, they kick in. And then we start to post or send the pictures. Often we send the pictures which are inappropriate. Now you need to understand what you posted. Once it's been posted, it doesn't go away. It remains on it. It remains on the platform as well as in your books of deeds. Kiraman Katibin, they have wrote it. Now it's up to you how responsible you would be when it comes to use of social media. If it doesn't concern you, if it's not helpful for you, leave it.